Hi and welcome back to the channel. So I wanted to do a quick video about the anime I'm watching for the spring season. So here's a quick list of everything I am currently watching, and then my takeaway from the initial impression between the previews for the series and the first episode. First series is 100 Scenes from Awajima. It was imperative that I had to watch this. It is the newest manga adaptation by one of my favorite authors, Shimura Takako, and I really don't know what to expect with this. I love her storytelling, I love her artwork. The first episode is just an introduction to something that's supposed to be an anthology, essentially, kind of, from what I'm understanding. But I'm going to enjoy it, if for nothing more than one of my favorite authors has yet another adaptation. Akane-banashi. Akane-banashi is all about Rakugo, but it's done like a shonen competition series, and I hate that. So this will probably not be sticking around. Botan Kamiina fully blossoms when drunk. I was drawn into it because of the premise of adults discussing alcohol and a side serving of Yuri. I was really disappointed with the first episode. It just felt like the only reason they were adults is so that there wouldn't be any weirdness with them drinking alcohol. Otherwise, they don't act like adults, they don't sound like adults, and I'm just not sold on it yet. Demons of the Shadow Realm. Purely the reason I'm watching it is for my love of its creator, who is the same woman who wrote Full Metal Alchemist. The first episode, though, was phenomenal, and if you want to hear a deeper dive into it, check out the first episode of the spring season of the podcast, where David and I go over that in depth. Eren the Southpaw. The trailers that I saw for this were kind of vague. It's about some dude trying to aspire to be better or be at the level of another person he liked that was a graffiti artist. First episode didn't really do too much for me. It felt a little pretentious, especially as they're name dropping. Let's see, who did they name drop? Basquiat and I forget the other guy. Another huge graffiti artist, legendary guy that died too young from New York in the 80s. I don't know, this one probably won't be sticking around. Even a replica can fall in love. This one really surprised me, and the first episode and the implications that it presents and the way it's addressing its subject matter of what would you do if you could just generate a copy of yourself to go do the things you don't want to do, has the potential to be the most interesting, if not best, quote-unquote, anime of the season. Gals can't be kind to Otaku. It's one of those series that's about the guy who's the social reject intentionally, who thinks that it's up to other people to recognize his quote-unquote greatness. And this time around, the trope is that it's two gyarus who are into him. It's not bringing anything fun to the table. 2 years ago, we had kind of a similar premise, with Hokkaido Gals Are Super Adorable, which was actually a really good story, or I should say it had main characters that were really well developed and enjoyable. This one, though, doesn't feel that way. Go For It, Nakamura. This may be the most satisfying of the romances this season that I'm watching, purely because it doesn't feel like it's going to be dragged down by any of the standard yaoi baggage. It just happens to be that the main character is gay and has no problems with being gay, and he's just stupid and unable to talk to the person that he likes because he's a teenager. Also, it has this very strong 80s Rumiko Takahashi vibe to it. I made friends with the second prettiest girl in class. Again, this is one of those series that is the main character who is a social outcast, who suddenly the popular girl notices him that he has value and starts hanging out with him. Unlike Gals Can't Be Kind to Otaku, the catalyst for these two characters liking each other feels more natural. Kirio Fan Club, this is my pick for what we're watching for this season of the podcast. You can listen to the first episode to find out why I picked it. Real quick, it gave me Asobi Asobasi vibes, and I'm not sure if it's going to meet that requirement, but I'm in it for the long run, so we'll see how it does. Klutzy Class Monitor and the Girl with the Short Skirt. So this again is another opposites attract trope. We've got the girl who is rebellious, but kind-hearted, morality school officer. And through their interactions, the girl actually starts to become fond of the gentleman who has no ability other than authority. First episode is okay. We'll see how it goes. Awkward opposites attract romance thing. Kujima, why sing when you can warble? I don't know. This is a really, really weird one. Kujima himself is uncomfortable in his character design. I'm anxious about Kujima at some points being malevolent. I don't know, it's hard to tell. This is a really strange anime That wasn't bad, and I have no idea what to expect other than continuing weirdness. Next up is Nippon Sangoku. I fear that there might be some imperialistic ideologies baked into this show. A little bit of non-innocent worshipping of the past, and maybe yearning for an older time of Japanese greatness. It might be uncomfortable to watch if I'm picking up on a lot of those pro-imperialistic tones. Pardon the intrusion, I'm home. I always enjoy a good romance that's about adults. This one is going to be a weird, comedic love triangle. I ain't got much else to say about this one. We'll see what happens as it goes. The Ramparts of Ice. I didn't know it at the time I watched the first episode, and learning this knowledge has changed my impression of it, or at least made me more receptive to it. But it's by the same author who did Do Opposites Attract, which is amazing. This one, though, it's another one of those stories about a main character who, for whatever reason, is just very defensive, and it's all about the people around them recognizing their goodness and then breaking that wall and breaking that barrier away so that they can enjoy themselves. I don't know if that's something I'm looking for right now. Season 5 of Rent-A-Girlfriend. So Season 4 of Rent-A-Girlfriend was very painful to get through. The first episode of Season 5 wasn't bad. It was good. I appreciated the idea that they dug deep into Mommy's personality and then almost made the viewer feel sorry for the bitch, but it's not happening. So hopefully, it doesn't keep dragging this stupid plot line out and actually gets to some more development. I don't have high hopes, though. Snowball Earth. It's truly hard to tell after watching the first episode and comparing it with the information that's available to us from the trailers as to what type of show this is going to be. Because the first episode was entirely an homage to the classic giant robot hero stories, but I know that's not going to be what the rest of the story is. And I know there's going to be weird, uncomfortable comedy that I'm looking forward to, but we will see what happens as the show progresses. And then finally, we have The Warrior Princess and the Barbaric King. I know from the previews that this is going to be a cute and enjoyable story about the courtship between these two unlikely characters. The problem is with the basic premise of it essentially being love via Stockholm Syndrome. We'll see. I'm hoping that the comedy and the endearing affection that these two characters will undoubtedly earn over time will make up for its uncomfortableness. That is everything I'm watching this season. I'm sure a quarter of them will go away within a couple of weeks. Let me know what you're watching, and we'll check you guys next time.